What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 130. I'm your host, Tony Pongo, and I'm joined by Carlos Romero,
Yo, what up?
Brett Murdoch,
What's up, people?
and Adam Vale.
What's up? You slash.
Yes. Oh, man. All right. So originally, we were going to do this set on like Monday night, right? Because I had a wedding to go to, but the wedding ended early because motherfuckers got to go to work on Monday. So we're like, fuck it. Let's just do it now. You know, you see my fucking clothes like that, a white shirt. You never see Tony with no white shirt, you know? Yeah, we had a good time and all. But let's see, Chris hopefully will be here soon. Manny obviously can't because he's still in Chi-Towns. He's not in China like Adam thought he was. You know, he ain't down with that. He ain't riding no dragons and shit, you know. But yeah, so I'm okay. There's Chris, perfect. So I'm guessing because of the fact that everybody expected us to do the show tomorrow, we only got 3 fucking questions. So we're gonna take our sweet time answering them. And also, Brett, remember that question you wanted to ask on the show? I'm gonna toss that in there too. It'll be interesting. You know, there's Chris, perfect. Hello, Chris.
Hello.
Popping fresh dough.
Hey man, I asked you how you were, motherfucker.
Oh, I said I'm doing good.
So yeah, Chris, man, I guess because everybody's expecting us to do this show tomorrow night, we only got 3 questions, so we're gonna take our sweet time answering them.
Oh, okay.
You know, all right. But things are going a little bit back to order though. Final stage boss is the first guy asking us questions again. All right. This is for all the guys in here that have been playing Zelda. Okay. He goes, is it better to upgrade your stamina or heart containers first in Zelda Breath of the Wild? Brett, I'm gonna go to you first, man. What do you suggest?
I'm sorry, I was distracted. Read the question again?
Okay. What do you do? Okay, what do you maximize first in Zelda? Your heart containers or your stamina? What did you prioritize?
Heart containers for that Master Sword, yo.
Yeah, got to get that Master Sword, man. Because you need
after that, you start beefing up the stamina.
Yeah, I have a very like my question is okay. Basically, you can't maximize both. You can only maximize one of them. The way they set it up, it's kind of stupid. There's not enough temples in the game to give you all the temple pieces you need for everything. So what I do is, or I did because I didn't actually go through with it, but basically maximize your stamina 2 circles and then like 2/3, 2/5 of another circle, right? Keep it there, and then that way you could get all 30 hearts. So that's what I suggest. And I'm going to tell you right now, even if you don't have 3 full stamina bars, 2.5 is enough. I have had no problems at all, you know. But I also want to add this. This is not related to hearts or stamina or anything. Try to maximize your armor if you can, because you will live longer. I was so frustrated with the game because these guys would just kill me in one hit. Upgrade your shit, find the fairies and stuff, upgrade your shit to at least level 3 and you'll survive longer. So you definitely want to do that too. But yeah, you obviously so yeah, I at the beginning I would suggest maximize kind of your stamina a little bit more and then focus on getting the 13 hearts to get the Master Sword, you know. So yeah, that's my answer. Carlos, what do you say?
I would say the hearts first, because from the parts that I've been through, like, you can get anywhere with the stamina you have if you're clever enough. Like there's some places where you have to climb up like to get to, and I don't know, like I've never had issues with the stamina. Like I've always had like like that little spot where like you're about to run out of stamina, you're just going to fall down the cliff, but then like that's never happened. So I would say the hearts first, because there's a lot of places where like you just start losing health, like if you don't know how to like prioritize or like how to like work for it, you know. Like you can get to a cold place and you're probably not prepared or something, and you can lose some hearts there. So stuff like that.
All right, makes sense. Moving on here, Mr. Goridi. All right, he has a big thing here before he gets to his question. He goes, just to follow up on the Nintendo stuff. I agree with Brett that the Joy-Cons in the controller is passable, but it's too tiny and feels awkward because of that. I don't have Trump size hands. Also, my overall point is more so that Nintendo is excluding a lot of its fan base that wants to use it as a console but a lot of the games are directed towards gamers in that same fan base, like Zelda, Mario, and Xenoblade. So it's kind of a counterproductive business practice. I want the games, but I don't want the console, which just foisters my love-hate relationship with Nintendo. Before we answer his question, do you guys want to touch on that? Because that's pretty interesting. I can kind of agree with them. It's like all these games, even back on the Wii, I'm like, hey, I kind of want to play that, but I don't want to buy that fucking console. That's always been a problem with me and Nintendo. It's like, these games are cool, but I don't want to buy their bitch-ass systems,
It's just how it is, man.
Like the Switch is like the first passable one to me. Like, okay, they give me the Pro Controller, okay, fine. I could deal with this, but those other ones, I'm like, man, I want to play your games, but I don't want to play it on your bitch ass console.
Yeah, the Wii U was like the only reason I bought it was to play the first party games. Like, there's no reason to get a Wii U, or I mean, we'll see about the Switch, but the Wii U, the only reason I had it was to play those first party games. Like, there's no reason to play anything else other than that. Like, they don't have the Call of Duties, they don't have the shooter ups, the bro games. They don't have the Maddens. They don't have like, they don't have the online infrastructure. They don't have the trophies. They don't have like achievements, anything. Like, so it's kind of useless. Like, if you think about it, it's a dust collector until the next Nintendo title comes out.
Well, I think they're wised up, at least when it comes to that. Because remember when we saw that first unveiling, the whole fact of having that bulletin board showing all the third-party support, and showing that, hey, look at the companies that want to work with us now. Hopefully that's a good sign, and we can get back to the way it used to be, like Game Boy Advance. People were like, why are you still playing this shit? Why? Everything was on it. Everybody worked on it. You know what I mean? It had all the games. They need to bring that back. If they can really get that full support, third-party support like that, it'll be awesome. It will be, but we don't know yet. It's still early.
Well, that's part of the issue with Goridi said. Like, they have a platform that caters to console gamers, but the platform does not provide the console experience. Like, they're like, a lot of people, like Nintendo is advertising this as a console and a portable all-in-one, but we all know that this is a portable console disguising itself as an actual home console. So it's not able to do some of the things that the other consoles are supposed to do. So as far as porting third-party games, it's going to be harder to port games into the Switch and make them work the way they work on the other consoles. And they don't have the infrastructure for the online services at the moment. There's no voice chat. There's nothing else. So these third-party developers are going to have a hard time trying to cater to the Switch and sell those games. So as far as people buying it for anything other than Nintendo games and maybe indie games, it's kind of like a wasteland.
Man, if they could make like a badass, or not even a badass, just port over a good Call of Duty. I mean, they would make so much money just from that, because the one that we got on
care about that though.
Remember what we got on Vita? Oh my god, that was a mess.
Adam, but think about it. Try playing Call of Duty with the Joy-Cons.
All right, I don't.
Joy-Con boys, Joy-Con boys.
Like, it's
a no-go.
It's like, if you don't have a Pro Controller, it's just ass backwards gaming. Like,
but I would want to play it on the go. If I'm gonna get something like that, I would get it just to play on the go. If that experience isn't there, then it's pointless. Because, like you said, I have my main consoles that I can do that with. It's like
Yeah, but if you're gonna take it on the go, are you gonna play it online? Or are you gonna play just a campaign? Because
just a campaign. I don't think I would play it online when it comes.
Yeah, well, you currently can't.
Oh, you can't. Oh.
Like,
there you go. Well, that's one game. I'll tell you, that's one game. At least if they did Call of Duty, that I would not give a shit that they have the chat in the app, because of all those guys talking shit throughout the whole time. It's like, oh, I wouldn't want to hear it. But I would just like that experience. Like, if they want to advertise it as a console, but we all know it's a handheld, then bring us some quality games that have not been on handheld.
Yeah. If you think about it, like, and this is like the inner bred of me talking, like,
the inner bred.
Is that a new term? That's a new term, the inner bred.
Inner bred.
because
Think
Brett
about
is so
t-shirts. Make t-shirts
Brett is
stand
so
up, Brett.
optimistic about the Switch, and we're not. So I kind of feel like whenever I get optimistic about the Switch, it's like the inner Brett in me is like taking over. But like I think about like imagine playing FIFA on the go like that.
I
That
know.
does seem pretty awesome. Like
That's what I'm saying. Like when they did it for the Vita, it was awesome. I loved it because it was an exact port, except it took some modes, but everything was there. All the other shit was there. The quality, the story, the team management, team building. But the most famous part of FIFA right now is FIFA Ultimate Team.
yeah, Ultimate.
That's the badass, and that's the problem then when it comes to making it portable because that requires you to go online. And if they don't have an online infrastructure, then I don't know how that's going to work. So we might just get a weird knockoff.
It's crazy. Damn it, I forgot what I was going to say about Switch. I'll say it later. Let's get to this guy's main question here. This one I want to say again. We're filling up time here. Okay, so I was playing the fucking demo of Puyo Puyo Tetris, right? And I'm like, this is dope. I'll buy this fucking game. It was like a mix of Puyo Puyo and Tetris. And then I'm like, well, hold on, Tony. Is it on other systems? Went to find out. Shit's on PS4. I'm like, okay, no reason for me to get it on Switch then, Again, trophies, So
Yeah.
and it's $10 cheaper on the PS4. Ain't that about a bitch?
Did it come to Vita also?
Yes, and here's the funny thing. In Japan, right, it came to the 3DS, the Vita, and PS3, but those versions are not coming out in America. But of course, the Vita is not region locked, so you can still get that. I'd rather get it on Vita than the fucking the Switch, to be honest. That just the fact that you're still on the PlayStation ecosystem is a big deal to me, So I would get the Vita version over the Switch one all day, any day,
Yeah,
So
that's one of
go ahead.
that's one of the priorities that Nintendo has to get when they release their online infrastructure. They need some way to replicate the trophy/achievement system because I don't consider myself a trophy hunter, but I do like the satisfaction of having the progress shown.
It's logging. It's like building your own journal of gaming.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, if Nintendo had fucking achievements, I'd be on that Switch all the fucking time, just trying to rack them up,
That's why I haven't bought I Am Setsuna on the Switch because I wanted to get it. When I heard that it was releasing on the Switch, I was like, oh, it's releasing on the Switch. And for some reason, Vita didn't release it there. Like they announced it for the Vita, but somehow they didn't release it. So I held on the game. So I thought it was going to go it's coming on the Switch but it doesn't have any achievements or trophies, but it's on the PS4. So
think how much money they would make if they said, "Oh, we're bringing back all our NES games, Punch Out, all of them, Kung Fu, all those great games with their own achievement system."
Oh my god,
that would be so awesome!
I would lose my
man.
fucking
That shit, 'cause
mind.
so many people I know said they made it to Mike Tyson, and I'm like, bullshit.
If they did that, I'd turn into bread. I'd be sucking Nintendo's dick. Oh man!
I mean, and that's the thing. I'm just surprised that they just didn't see. I mean, hell, even Steam has it. You know what I mean? The PC world, everyone has adopted this model, and I don't see why they're like, "Oh no, our audience don't care about this." Your audiences are not little kids; they've grown now. Your audience are playing on those other systems.
Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, let's get to this man's question. He goes, we've known about Emmy Hennig's Star Wars game for a while now, and we are supposed to get new information 2017, assumedly at E3. Probably my favorite non-movie Star Wars character is Kyle Katarn of the Jedi Knight series. What made his story so compelling for me is that he was one of the first Force users I was introduced to that was kind of in the gray area of neither dark or light, whereas most of the Star Wars characters on either end of the spectrum. I'd love to see Amy Hennig use her ability to tell intriguing stories to hit on that same note, coupled with Visceral's ability to tell a story through atmosphere like Dead Space. What do you guys expect or hope for in this game? Brad, I'm going to you, man, because you're a big EU guy, do you know this character he's talking about? You're muted, bro, I think.
I don't know. Give me a second. Don't go to me first.
Okay, well, but do you know the character at least? He's talking about.
Sounds familiar, but it's not. No.
He's the hero of Dark Forces. So.
Oh, okay, the game.
In the original,
that was from the PlayStation game.
Yeah, the original Dark Forces was a shooter, right?
Yeah,
it was
that's right.
First person.
Yeah, it was basically Doom in Star Wars.
Yeah. All right, Chris. You know what?
Albaton
Go
was-
ahead, man. Since you're talking, what do you want to see from the game? What the fuck?
Well, when they did the sequel, right? Then all of a sudden he
Yeah.
became a Jedi. The first game he wasn't. He was basically Han Solo, and then the second game he was Luke Skywalker. You know, but the thing is, he could do light or dark side. I think you could learn both, and so you could have a mixture of healing and like lightning, and so that was pretty cool. What I'd like to see is, if they could do that. Because that idea was good. You didn't have to learn one side or the other side, right? That's always been the Star Wars thing. You're either you do dark side, so you do dark side shit, and the other half is locked out, or you do light side, and the other half is locked out. That'd be cool if you could do a mixture. If you were that gray Jedi, Brett knows all about that. I'm not too familiar with that, but if you were in that gray area and you could do, if I had lightning and heal at the same fucking time, and then could like fly through the air be like Billy and kick people all the time and throw shit around. That'd be awesome.
Yes.
Like the shit you were doing in with Star Killer, right? But amplify that shit. That's what I would want. A nice third person action game like that. But I have to say, for me, I'm not looking forward to this one because I'm still sad about 1313, man.
Yeah. That's a good segue for me.
That's what
that's what I want. Listen. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want a Star Wars game with more Jedis. Give me that 1313. That's the shit I want.
That's what I keep thinking about, man. Yeah. So but for this game, I guess if you're doing that Jedi shit, I would love a combo of powers. Like you could do both, and and really amplify it. So the stuff from Force Unleashed or whatever, but like I would go nuts with that. I don't think you can. No game yet has let you experience that kind of stuff. Besides those two, besides old Dark Forces and then Force Unleashed, but do a combination of those, and then go crazy. And that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think I already said my answer. Give me 1313. That's what I want. A game like that.
That's for me.
I want a game like that. I want like just a Han Solo type of character. Like they're not Force users or anything in that same universe. That would be fucking nuts. Give me that shit. That's what I want. Right, Carlos. What about you, man?
For some reason, like all that keeps going into my head is an Old Republic game again. But I think we already ran that into the ground with. Like we had Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, and we had the Old Republic MMO game. But I don't know. The 1313 does like I like a game where you're just a regular guy like a Han Solo type, but all your enemies are like freaking Siths.
Yeah, imagine that would be insane.
That'd be fucking crazy. Like you're like you feel so powerless, so you have to figure out different ways and tactics to defeat these fucking powerful characters. Yeah, I think that would be crazy.
Yeah, dude's like chucking fucking lightning at you. All you got is a gun. You got to figure out how do I take this guy out. Yeah, EA, listen to us, man. We're making a great Star Wars game for you right now. All right, Adam, what about you, man?
Get ready, because I'm gonna say something that probably upset some of you guys more than my whole Dino thing.
This dude.
I don't give two shits about Star Wars universe.
We have to put you off this podcast.
I'm a Trekkie. I believe that Star Trek offers more diversity in characters and exploration and just the structure. And so Star Wars and ninjas and space with lightsabers and all that just doesn't. I'll watch it and I'll say, what? Okay, it's great for what it is, but I don't see the interest in that world. Or that so-called universe that they're trying to create.
Here's my thing. I got to jump in because I never understood these guys that they're either for Star Wars or for Star Trek. I love both of them equally.
No, you can. I like them both.
They give me two totally different experiences. Like Star Trek, they give me the hard science shit. Like possibilities of our future. Star Wars is just it's a fantasy in space.
It's supposed to be Flash Gordon. That was what he was going for,
exactly.
And that's fine for what it is. But when they start adding these backstories, try to give it more life. I feel it's forced. Everything feels forced. You know, that's why people didn't like when they did the prequels and they started coming back. It doesn't flow. It's like, I understand you didn't think it was going to be what it is today. You know, it wasn't supposed to be this, but the fans wanted it. So like, oh, we'll just make some shit up, you know. But Star Trek, it just, I mean, it holds more. So just to say on that, whatever game comes out, whatever they make, it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fun. But when it comes to the lore and all that stuff, I don't follow it. I don't see it.
I mean, you can like both.
Yeah,
No, I
I
do.
love
I
both.
like it. I like it. I do like it. I don't see a big interest in it though. I don't say like, man, if only it could be like this and that. No, it is what it is. But I mean, look, we've seen all the different versions. We saw the Battlefront one come out. You know, we saw the other Battlefront, the original Battlefield when they did that version. We've seen the Force Unleashed. You know, where the guy's running around using his force powers. They've done this in all different versions. You know, so who knows what this is? I think a lot of people are hoping that her version is going to be like Uncharted, that we're going to see that type of
that's what I think
experience.
too.
Yeah, that's what everyone's thinking. You know, I don't know if that's going to happen. But if it is, it would be an amazing story. I don't care what the backstory is of it. If you could make it something like Uncharted, because that's what I'm going to compare it to, then yeah, it'll probably be badass regardless of what the backstory is.
That's kind of like how 1313 was going to be.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Oh, we keep
Why
going
why
back
did they
to that.
can that again? Why did they can that again? Man?
Hey, Amy Hennig, just make 1313.
But that's the thing. Why? I feel like everyone refers to 1313 just like they refer to what's the other one? StarCraft Ghost. You know, they make it seem like this was going to be the best of all. What's so special about 1313?
Again, because you're a regular guy, you're not a fucking Jedi and shit facing off against these crazy threats, you know?
Not
That's
to
the appeal of
mention,
it.
the freaking graphics in that game just fucking blew everyone's mind.
But then why did they
the
kill
game
it?
looks
What
like,
was the
it looks
reason?
like Uncharted in fucking the Star Wars universe? Like, do you really need to, ask anything more beyond that?
Why'd they kill it then?
It got killed in the Disney buyout.
Yeah.
Of Lucas.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It got swept up, baby in bathwater, man. They just
Exactly.
But yeah, like just quick thing, like the only reason why Star Wars and Star Trek get mentioned every time like each other gets mentioned is because they have Star and they're a franchise that deals with space. But other than that, they're even different genres.
They are. The
Yeah,
only thing
different.
that compares to Star Trek is Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Maybe Babylon
I mean, and
5.
even that's
Babylon 5,
and I mean, I love Star Trek. Don't get me wrong, but look at the Star Wars line of games. They've always been like really superior to anything we've gotten for Star Trek. Like,
Yeah.
let's be
I
serious.
mean, we got
Like,
Mass
the best
Effect and
Star
Star
Trek
Trek. Yeah.
And Tony and I have always said this: the best Star Trek game is Mass Effect 2.
yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
And I mean, look, you had X-wing TIE Fighter, you had Dark Forces, you had Force Unleashed. Like, Star Wars is a good run of games, and now now it's blown up again because how many studios are working on Star Wars games now? You already
Every EA studio practically,
Yeah. So I mean, there's a potential for good stuff, so might as well embrace it. But what do we want? Like, honestly, also what I'd want is kind of a privateer game. Like, if you're going to do Han Solo, right, or something similar, then let me go be an actual role. Let me go deal in shady shit, and let me go to planet and do some nutty stuff. Like make deals and have to fight for my life, or maybe steal some shit and sell
Didn't
it
you do
somewhere
that in
else.
Old Republic? Wasn't that one of the options in Old
Yeah,
Republic?
but now you have, look at the power that we have in this generation. Like, there's more capabilities. So like let me have more of that. Let me have a Mass Effect type of experience, but broader. And in Privateer, you do whatever you want. You align however you want. Like, if I feel like shooting you first, I'll just shoot you.
Motherfucker.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people would want a Boba Fett game.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think they are making one. Man, forget about it. That'd be crazy.
Isn't he supposed to get his own movie, like his kid or something? Like,
that's right.
Well, they were gonna do that, but then somehow Rogue One came out, and then they're gonna do that, but then now a young Han Solo movie. So now they're talking about a Yoda movie. So who knows, man?
I'm telling you, every year they want to have one. So who knows?
Oh man. All right, Brett, get in here, man. What do you say?
What now?
Yeah, Star Wars. Go.
I just want more Old Republic games. I know that they came out with the MMO and they're like, this is going to be all future iterations, and then it withered and died on the vines. I want KOTOR back. That's all I really want.
From BioWare.
What's that?
From
From
BioWare.
BioWare.
Yeah, from BioWare.
But
Just
it's
fix
new
the face.
BioWare,
Just fix the faces, man.
yeah. Don't forget that. Don't forget
Dude, I'd suffer through a KOTOR game with fish face at this point.
that.
Man.
Oh man. All right. Oh, by the way, thank you guys for the chat. You gave us a lot more questions now. Fantastic. Oh, okay. So Goridi, and he ends off with PS. I'm going to throw out World of Final Fantasy and Ratchet and Clank as good titles Sony had released last year. World of Final Fantasy was one of the games I had the most fun with all year. It wasn't the best game, but it was one of the most fun games for me. Yeah, that was a great game, man. I'm glad you liked it. You know. All right, let's moving on here. Mr. Serious B, Brian Wilson. He goes, "Hey guys, since you briefly brought up the Vita when answering my question last week, I got a question for you. Adam was right. I have never owned a handheld. I was seriously looking into buying a Vita until I saw some old patent that Sony was holding for a handheld. I thought that a new iteration of the Vita might be close, and I didn't want to risk double buying. So if we make it past E3 with no Sony handheld announcements, a Vita purchase may be back on the table. But I'm kind of torn because Switch seems to be getting the indie support that has kept the Vita alive for so many years. If I can shop on the Japanese eShop, then all those wonderful Japanese titles and indie developer games are available too. So my question is, should I jump onto a Vita or wait for the Switch library to beef up and the inevitable price drop that's coming?
Wait for the Vita. You're not going to see a price drop. That's not going to
Well, he's talking about the Switch. Like he's basically saying, should I get the Vita now or wait for the Switch to get more games and then drop in price?
Get the Vita now. There's a library now. Play now.
Yeah, get the Vita now, bro. Especially if you're
now. The Switch is not going to drop in price, but the games will.
Yeah,
So
you know how to whip it out to Vita.
Yeah, just wait till get the Vita now. Have fun now. Play them now. Keep your eye on the Switch. Give it some time. Let that library develop. Let that online
My Game Boy Color. They have a big library too.
Yeah. Game Boy. Well, no, don't pat that. My Game Boy Color's over here.
Yeah, he ain't giving that one up.
Really good.
Yeah, no, I have another Game Boy Color. I have my other Game Boy Color in here.
Yeah, no, get the. I doubt Sony is not coming out with the Vita 2. That's not happening.
Yeah,
they're not coming out with the Vita 2, and they're not supporting the Vita 1.
Yeah, Sony's done with it. The indies guys are still putting shit out there, and there's a lot of great titles on it. You definitely don't want them to. But the only thing is, I always tell people with the Vita, you can't just go into it without doing some research because those memory cards are fucking expensive. So you gotta know what you're getting into, man. Because that was the deal breaker for a lot of people.
That's the most expensive part, right there. The memory cards.
And I still believe the memory cards will fuck the Vita up in the end. But yeah, I was definitely saying, especially if you're a Japanese, gaming fan, you need a fucking Vita,
But at a lot of JRPGs on it.
Yeah, but at the same time, don't sleep on the Switch either because it's getting a lot of cool indie games and a lot of cool Japanese indie games. So you don't want to sleep on that one either, And if you've never been a handheld type of guy, definitely get your feet wet with the Vita and then get a Switch, soon because there's a lot of good stuff there, especially a lot of cool old shit. That's coming, So get both.
But I mean, just go for what's out now, and then
get the Vita now. Get the Vita now.
Hopefully, I say by Christmas time, I would assume Nintendo's online service will be active, and then we'll get a good understanding of what it's going to be like. What their pricing is for these old throwback games. Will it be able to play GameCube and other consoles that they have had? We don't know. We all assume, sure. We said that before. And it hasn't happened.
Look what happened, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It hasn't happened. So we can't assume. We have to stop assuming with them and just be like, all right, let's just wait for them to say it.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, I would say get a Vita now because you know what it is. I mean, if you like the prospects of what the Vita is right now, then you know what you're getting. But the Switch, you'll still need another year or so to know what the actual system is going to be and what kind of games it's going to have. Plus,
I'd hold off on a Vita too because I think they're going to have a price drop, and you're going to see a lot of secondhand Vitas on the market.
You could already get secondhand OLEDs ones for like $100, $75. You can get them cheap.
If you get them for under $100, then yeah. I mean, if you can get a Vita for $75, I mean that's pretty much the price of a game, and that's
going to be the second. Yeah.
Pads up a little bit. I would advise spending a lot of money on a Vita is my thing. Like inevitably you're looking at what is a last generation console. Whether or not they come out with another one, it's still a last generation console that's no longer being supported by its primary company. It's being kept alive by third parties, but up until now, you really haven't had a whole lot of competition in that arena. And now that you have the Switch there, like you said, you are seeing some developers being pulled over there. Now, does that mean they're not going to develop for the Vita? Probably not. At least not for a while. That's not going to be the case, I don't think. But, I mean, do remember, the Vita is essentially at the tail end of its lifespan. So investing a lot of money into it is not going to be super productive.
Well,
Get the OLED model, the original one. Don't get the one, the new one that they released.
Hey,
Well, you're-
versions of the Vita.
but you're not investing for the future. You're investing for the now. Like, you know what you're gonna get with the Vita. You know what you're investing with. So you have to look up the types of games that you want, and does the Vita have those games out right now? If it doesn't, then don't get it.
Yeah.
If you don't like I can name you like millions of JRPGs that are like amazing, but if you don't like JRPGs, then you're not going to be into like most of the games that are worth getting in the Vita. The Vita does have a lot of good indie games too. Like, if you don't like indie games,
it had its own Uncharted. Remember, that wasn't even a port.
Yeah,
that was
Golden Abyss is
yeah,
pretty
that's
good.
back when
itself.
Sony actually
Unit 13, which was done by the group that did SOCOM.
It's got a good Killzone game too.
apparently one of the best Killzone games.
Yeah, I'm still playing that one. That one had great multiplayer too. That was great.
Yeah, so like you can get like Flower, you can get what's it called? What's the name of that game? Child of Light. You can get Tearaway. You can get like all these like indie games that are pretty cool, like that are worth getting.
Yeah, but also keep in mind that just like the Switch, a lot of those indie games are available elsewhere. So gotta keep that in mind too.
Yeah, you can get Rayman Legends. That's gonna be on the Switch. That's gonna be on the Switch in a couple of months.
Yeah.
I would also suggest try and get your hands on both of them, just to see how they feel. Like I could not get into the way that the Vita felt. I've had the thing, I hate to say it, damn near shelved since I bought it. I've given it several attempts and I just can't get comfortable playing on it. The size of the screen is too small for me. I'm also a person who has a ridiculously giant phone. I like bigger screens. Screen real estate is important to me. And I found that with the Vita, I had to hold it pretty much right up to my face, which put a lot of downward pressure on my rotator cuff, which I put a lot of use and work on anyway. So after a long day of tattooing, it would actually hurt my arm to hold the Vita.
Is that why you didn't get a 3DS?
What's that?
Is that why you didn't get a 3DS, because of the screen size?
One of the reasons, yeah. And then when they came out with the 3DS XL, I was just confused as to the number of Game Boys on the market at that point.
Yeah, because Adam, didn't you want to ask Brett something about that?
Yeah, because right after we had that part, the guy hit me up and he was like, I thought he said he was a Zelda fan. And I was like, I don't know if he was a real Zelda. I know he likes Nintendo. I don't know. Are you a real? Because they were like, well, The Link Between Worlds came out on that, and that received a Metacritic of 91. So if he was a Zelda fan, I mean, I don't know. I know he's a Nintendo fan.
That one, I didn't play the Oracle ones or any of the Four Swords or Minish Cap, I think, are the ones missing from my repertoire. But while I like those games and while they look fun, I didn't feel like they necessarily justified the buying of a Game Boy. It wasn't until I heard such good reviews, and not just good reviews, but a lot of people comparing this Zelda to both the original one and Ocarina of Time, that I kind of realized that this Zelda was them getting back to the roots that I appreciated, that I felt that they'd kind of drifted away from a little bit. So yeah, I am absolutely a Zelda fan. Does that mean that I'm die hard down all three timelines and every game in all three timelines? Not necessarily. They went a little crazy with it, in my opinion, in a couple of places. But I didn't play Skyward Sword either, because I didn't want to pick up the tragedy that was the Wii U. So I'd be down for a port for that.
Well, Skyward Sword was the Wii though. That was the end of the Wii.
Was it the end of the Wii?
Yeah, that was the last. That came out at the ass end of the Wii's life. Skyward Sword.
Okay, that's not fun.
And I already kicked my Wii to the curb. I was angry at Nintendo that
Yeah.
generation. The Wii dumb pissed me off.
Well,
I mean,
also, I think they should have put in an option to use the Pro Controller. It was motion controls only, which is
Ugh.
why a lot of people fell off. A lot of people disengaged
Well-
that game after a while.
Well, remember that's the first game that utilized the Motion Plus. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
another
right.
bullshit they had.
We're getting a lot of good fucking questions here. All right, let's move
And it
on
got a
here.
90. And Skyward Sword got a 93 on Metacritic.
Jeez,
man, these
man,
fucking
these
Zelda
Zelda
games, man.
man.
Every year, man, they get a fucking game changer.
Yep, every year, right?
you know, I maybe I'm just hesitant about Skyward Sword because I really did not enjoy Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess. Let me look that up.
Yeah, look at the score on it, right, Carlos? All right, I want to move on. Brett, this is actually a question from you. You asked this weeks ago, but we didn't get around to it because fans prioritize. But we don't have a lot of questions, so let's get to it.
Shit.
What was the score on it?
95 for the Wii version.
And Zelda games don't get
90
a pass.
96 on the GameCube.
Wow.
God damn.
Fuck.
Well, I will say the GameCube one was superior. It's not
106
for nothing,
on
without just no motion controls. For me, it was better because the fishing was horrible on the Wii.
Oh,
when you do the
yeah.
fishing stuff.
Yeah.
On the GameCube, it was way better because you could just use a controller.
Wait, Chris, so you're telling me you've played Nintendo games?
Shh, don't tell anybody. Also, don't tell anybody I work there. Shh, no.
All right, man. Let's get to Brett's question. Here he goes. With the Switch, has Nintendo abandoned or embraced the blue ocean strategy? Brett, do you want to expand on that question before we answer?
Yeah, I mean it's obvious to me that they're trying, I think, to separate themselves from other consoles. They don't want to be the primary console in your living room. It seems more to me like they're like, hey, in addition to your PlayStation or Xbox, have you thought about picking up a Switch? And while that seems to abandon the market, the competing market with consoles, it kind of moves into the handheld market, which the Vita's on its last legs, and the rest of the market is already held down by Nintendo. So, with those in mind, is this them, practicing what they preach and utilizing their blue ocean strategy, or do you think that they've kind of given up on that and started or moved to an environment where they're only competing with themselves essentially? Because you do have to view the Vita as a competitor, even though it's not technically being supported anymore. It's the closest thing to that niche, and you already have a set cadre of developers who are developing for the Vita, and I think you're seeing a lot of those possibly transition over the Switch. The same with indie games. So while it could be argued that they're not competing, I would say, for the sake of this argument, like, let's go ahead and agree that at least to a certain extent they are.
Well, it's hard to say that because the Vita doesn't take any significant portion of the market share to even be competitive with anything, really.
Yeah, they don't advertise it. They don't do anything. It's just something that's there. It's one of those things. It's like, oh, it's here. Like, oh, okay, but they don't. I mean, Sony stopped advertising that. What, like 2 years ago? 2 years ago. They don't care. It's third parties that care and start advertising like they did at the recent E3. Oh yeah, and also coming to that's them, but Sony doesn't really do that. I mean, besides the ones in Japan when they did the re-release. Remember, we did get that Borderlands one. Remember when they released Borderlands and it came with that cheaper version of the Vita, which didn't have an OLED screen and just didn't perform as great as the original one. It was just to cut costs. But yeah, I mean, it's been dead for a while. It's just one of those things that people like to use because it offers other features like connecting to the PlayStation ecosystem, the fact that you can stream your games from your console over to it. A lot of people do it. I don't do it, but there's a lot of people that do that still. And they stream things over so that way they can still play their AAA games on the go. And the PS Now, again, I don't do it, but people were doing that too. That was available on it.
Is anybody really streaming their games to their Vita? Because every
Manny
time I
does it
tried
all the
that,
time.
it's
Manny
been a
does it all the time.
hard experience for me. Like,
Yeah,
it
no,
doesn't
Manny
have
does it because
controller.
remember, Brad, you can understand this. He's always in front of his computer working and stuff. So the only way he could play those PS4 games is really on his Vita streaming it.
Yeah, I was playing Persona 4 like that today.
I can see Persona that any turn-based game I can see working well.
Persona 5, Brad, you mean? I mean, Carlos?
Yeah, Persona 5.
I was about to say, I'm like, you could just play it normally. Play Persona 4.
Yeah, I can see turn-based games, but like even down to the Uncharted game on the Vita, like the sticks, like I could not get them to control the way that I wanted to. I felt like I had, just dumb fingers or dumb thumbs. I couldn't get a headshot. Like I could barely hit the target when I wanted to. It just the sticks feel weird, and maybe I needed to get some extenders for them. But then even on top of that, like I couldn't get over the lack of a second shoulder button and like forcing you to like tap on the touchscreen because it made me move my hands all weird.
But usually, like, you have to tap on the back, and which is not really a problem.
Yeah, but
I'm always surprised how great
back,
games play on
bottom.
Vita.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It all depends. I mean, on just people's hands and what they prefer to play as an handheld.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking. We almost have different hands because y'all are complaining about the Joy-Cons but love the Vita. I'm like, man, it's the exact opposite for me. My hands get crampy whenever I play my Vita.
Oh no, Brett, my hand got like a lot of cramps when I was playing with the Vita. But I got the Nyko thing. Whatever.
That shit is dope.
That shit is
little horns on the
legit.
bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Those
okay,
things do a world of difference.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I never had a handheld besides.
Yeah, mine with
maybe,
the fat backs.
Yeah, maybe.
I got those too. And what do you have, Chris?
I have a holder for both 3DS and the Vita because both of them cramp my hands.
Yeah.
Even the XL, after a while, I'm like, shit. It's like I get claw hand if I'm playing.
Right.
I hate that, so I got holders for those.
Yeah, nobody on this podcast has Trump hands. Small hands. Oh man. All right.
Yeah, I think I'm also the weird one though, because I used to like to play Smash Brothers on the microcontrollers because I felt like I could get faster response time out of it.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, the very little GameCube controllers, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I know which ones you're talking about.
You could rock some fighting games with those things.
Yeah, but to answer the question, I don't know. Nintendo's being weird because they're doing the Blue Ocean strategy, but they're also not doing it at the same time.
Well, if you look at their marketing, they are still doing Blue Ocean because I've seen a series of ads run. Like so I've been watching Samurai Jack and Adult Swim on Saturday, right? So look at this. If you look at the Switch ads that run on that schedule, and then watch Cartoon Network in the middle of the day, you'll see two totally different ads for it. And so they're trying to hit everyone, right? But that hasn't changed. That hasn't changed since I was there. That's when they started it with the Wii, with the Ocean. They're trying to hit dad and mom, kids, whatever. And then at night, it's for, I don't know, they decided 20-something-year-old hipsters were the thing to show. And I'm like, I don't know, this loser guy who's making pancakes with his like fucking bedhead.
Dude, how are you gonna play Breath of the Wild and make pancakes at the same time?
Yes, no, you're gonna cause a fire. That was stupid. Like I thought the ad was dumb because this guy got up and he immediately took up his Switch, and the whole ad is him playing Zelda, but he's doing things like making breakfast, and I think he goes to the bathroom and all this stuff. And I'm like, I know you can do those things, but I wouldn't recommend doing those things, especially if you went to the bathroom and you're holding your Switch, and then you're still holding your Switch, you didn't wash your hands, and you're making pancakes. That is disgusting.
Yeah, that's not sanitary. Then they show him hand it to his friends at work, and then his friend sneezes and touches it. Then another kid goes and licks his fingers because he was having a pancakes. It's disgusting.
And then by the time the last guy gets it, he has pink eye. So
there you go.
Come on. Yeah, I mean, they are still doing bullshit. I mean, Reggie Dog Whistle did at E3 last year, and I can see it in their marketing still. They're doing it. Now, the system itself can appeal broadly, but I think they should really pick a way to show it and focus on the games instead of showing pod people. I've always hated the way they advertise things, and I've always hated the actors they use to show things. I always just feels fake,
Yeah.
So I've never agreed with that, and I think really focus on the games. That's what's the most important. Show the gameplay, like
Give me the
show it more
games.
than anything else. Yeah, make it about the games and the characters. Also, they need to love their IPs a little more. Like, I mean, to start off like, but with Zelda, yes, but you start off with 1-2 Switch when that could have been, I don't know, WarioWare or anything else, man.
Yeah,
That would have
man.
been
What
so
the
much
fuck?
better.
A WarioWare would have
That
been
should have been
great.
WarioWare.
Yeah, like see, Brett, you agree that could have been a quirky, fun, filled with mini games. And you remember the old WarioWares; they were great. But
It would have been a great way to
instead,
showcase the system. I mean, right now, Nintendo should be banking on trying to get as many people out showing their Switches to their friends as possible. So they really should be pushing the whole multiplayer. Like, it's one of the reasons the new like Street Fighter cannot fucking come soon enough. Like it, until you can be like, hey, pop it out, set it on a table, be like, let's play around a Street Fighter. Like, it's not gonna click in somebody's head. That's what makes this different, and that's what they have to their advantage. It is underpowered, especially for a console. It's not going to give you the same experience as the bigger systems. So they really need to be focusing on ways to showcase that. And I'm not gonna, say that they have a secret sauce or anything like that. Like, I have no idea what they're gonna do at E3. Probably just push virtual console stuff, but then again, that really doesn't seem like it's gonna be enough. So I don't know. Maybe they'll announce something. Hopefully,
we'll get to E3 in a bit because we have a specific question about that.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else want to jump onto the Blue Ocean shit?
well, I kind of if
Yeah,
I had a hope
Yeah.
of anything, I'd wish they would just stop and focus on. Like I said, you could do this organically. Just focus on the games. You don't need to show pod people and these weird. Like, I'm tired of that. Just show the games. Show what the system can do. Like I said, like I was actually impressed when I saw the second version of ARMS they had at the whatchamacallit, the thing they streamed, the direct. Yeah. No, the presentation was boring. Don't get me wrong. But when they showed ARMS and what it could do, I'm like, that is what you should have showed in the first place. And B, that would have been a perfect ad if you had just cut that gameplay and showed all the exciting shit it could do and showed that it had 2 vs. 2, which should have been day one. You should have said that. That by itself is an ad, right? You don't need to show a schoolgirl with noodly arms and then some other guy and they're punching. Fuck that. Just show that.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I need to take back what I said about ARMS because I was running around saying this should have been Punch Out. What the fuck is this ARMS shit, right? Then I saw that, right? The one you're talking, like, oh, it's actually a completely, like, not only is it original game, but it's a game that deserves to be its own thing. So I take back what I said about ARMS. It definitely deserves to be up there. The game looks actually, dare I say, competitive.
Well,
like,
it reminds me of
FTC
Power Stone.
level competitive. You know,
all right, you remember Power Stone?
Yeah,
God, yes, they do.
Yeah, it had vibes of Power Stone, but only when they showed it then. Before, they didn't convey that. I almost like they wasted so much time with that stupid CG bullshit. But if it just showed that.
Brett, remember that conversation?
You believe it was just like this weird, like, punching game. You're like, okay, here we go. Like, you're going to have to use the move controller. And it's going to be like a virtual punching thing. But, like, no, even when they were, like, kind of playing competitively and the people were playing with the Joy-Cons and not a Pro Controller, like, they got a surprising amount of leaping and dashing and throwing and dodging out of like, and I have no idea. It's like just the way that they're able, like, because they had I'd seen some a competitive thing, and I don't think that they had really played the game that much before. And the way that people picked it up quickly and were able to kind of start leaping through the air and moving things with the Joy-Cons leads me to believe that it's actually somewhat intuitive. And I hate to say it, I wasn't sold on this game on announcement, and the more I hear about it, the more I'm like, this game looks really bad. And you hit the nail on the head. This game reminds me of Power Stone.
Yeah, I need to jump real quick because Brad, you and I were having this conversation, right? And you were like, hey, like, Tony, you're a fighting game fan. Why aren't you getting ARMS? I'm like, that shit is not a real fucking fighting game, right? But then I saw that video you sent me, those 2 competitive guys. I'm like, oh shit. I think this is a real fighting game. Like, the angle is all wrong. You know, it's not like this. It's like, you know, you see the person's back instead of seeing like that. But it's as deep as a fighting game, so that makes it a fighting game just because of that, doesn't it?
It kind of seems like it. Like, it's the more they're
just
like
a fighting game from a different angle, but it's still pretty deep, like a fighting game.
And
Yeah.
Two on
Kind of
Two
like
can-
Super Smash Brothers.
Well, so that shit is not fucking fighting game.
Nah. You can't have your cake and eat it too, Tony.
Sakurai said it's not a fighting game. Case closed. Get the fuck out of here.
Come on, man.
Yeah, these guys specifically said, no, we want this shit to be a competitive fighting game. Okay, there you go. Sakurai even said this shit is not a fighting game, it's a brawler. So get out of here with that. You know?
But I think Nintendo gets in their own way with their marketing and messaging. That's what they need to do. It's simple. Just show what the games can do. You don't need pod people. You don't need to show dad and mom or kids or whatever. Let people figure out if it appeals to them, and that's all you need to do. Like, stop with the blue ocean. Stop with that nonsense. Like, you never needed to do that in the 80s and 90s. You don't need to do that now. There's no fucking reason to keep doing that.
Well, shit, shout out to the platform live. What's going on? By the way, who said this? Daniel J. He goes, they should have called it hands.
Oh,
No shit.
All right, let's move on here. Black Metal Gamer, Black Metal. All right, he goes, what horror movie do you think would make a good survival horror game? I like
well,
this.
we're getting Friday the 13th.
Yeah, we're getting that. I heard that's a multiplayer game. That's like,
It
what
is.
the fuck?
It is. Yeah, because it's kind of like Evolve was. One
Yeah.
person is Jason, and the other people are the counselors, right? You have to survive.
Yeah, I guess that
guess.
makes sense. You know what I'm going to say? They already made a game out of this. Fucking sucked. Friday the 13th. That shit
For
needs
the
to go.
NES?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
new one is coming out. It doesn't look too bad.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Oh,
man.
my bad. Nightmare on Elm Street. They need to bring that shit back, man. That would be awesome. You like, oh, shit. Maybe you could be Freddy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want Nightmare on Elm Street. That'd be cool. Remember that shit on the NES? I say it sucked.
You're talking about that shit. All that comes into my head, and Chris, you'll appreciate this, is that freaking Rick and Morty episode, man. But anyways, I think what about I don't know if this counts, but Alien game?
Well, they've made that already.
We already got one
Alien
of those.
Isolation.
That is true.
Okay,
Yeah.
but let me piggyback on that, and let me put the cart in front of the horse here for a second. What makes a good horror game? The feeling of being trapped, the feeling of being hunted, maybe. So in that note, I would suggest Predator.
Ooh.
It is a great movie.
Yeah. That's a good call.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, can you imagine being a game where you're being hunted by a group of predators? Like,
Yeah,
they're
some
fucking
crazy ass
trapped
jungle
and
and
shit.
shit.
Like, you have to watch out for the laser beams and the stealth camo and.
Well, I remember talking to Tony about it, like when I was playing Horizon. When I saw those things, man, I was like, I got a fucking huge Predator vibe, man. That shit was scary as hell.
Hell yeah.
The stalkers, right?
Yeah, because you know someone's after you, but you can't fucking see it. You know, you could kind of see it, but you can't.
And then you hear it, and then you're like, "Oh my god, what the fuck is it?" And it's all
That
like,
reminds me of Dying Light when it was nighttime.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, it's like
when you heard that alarm and Dying Lights, like get the shelter.
Oh, but that was great when you were running and you could look behind you and you see them chasing you, and you're like, "Oh Jesus, I'm."
Yeah.
There was no reason for that feature other than for you to shit your pants.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like there's nothing good is going to come from looking behind you. It's one of those that should just be like, don't press this button.
Yeah, exactly.
There was this one time I was playing. I didn't find shelter, but I was like hiding in like this bush, and there was no zombies, nothing around me. And I heard it, and I'm like, all right, it's not gonna find me. That shit still found me. It was like an hour with an in-game time that it eventually still found me. I'm like, that's bullshit. I'm laying down. I'm like, oh,
Hey, that is a zombie that is determined.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, horror games.
Well, they've done Evil Dead games. Like,
Yeah.
those to death. I know, but see, like the formulas that work really well. You either have a survival horror where you have no way of fighting back, like Isolation, or you have survival horror like you have Dead Space, where you can fight back, but it's in a scary environment. Like the environment is almost what you're fighting.
Yeah.
You know.
I'd kind of take Resident Evil because that's the one that invented most of the formula.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, it goes back to that, like Dead Space borrowed from that, and Resident Evil borrowed from Alone in the Dark. So it's so you each evolve that experience, right? But I think where they nailed it was like RE4, like nailed it, right? And that's what Dead Space borrowed from. Dead Space was RE4 out in space, and they jacked up everything, and you have this silent protagonist, and you have a situation that is insurmountable, and you think you're you're stranded and dead.
You can fight back, but you don't have enough ammunition or supplies to fight back adequately. Like, I definitely don't like the survival games that don't allow you to fight back at all.
Like Outlast, right?
Outlast and then Alien Isolation. You have no chance.
Yeah, I was frustrated by that in Alien Isolation. I was like, no matter how many times I hit this fucking android in the face with this pipe.
Oh, the Working Joes.
Yeah, the Working Joes. What about? Forgive me if they already did this. A Saw game. That's like pure survival.
That was horrible. Oh my god, that was so bad. It was all puzzles. It was horrible puzzles.
It's stupid.
Wasn't that game called Manhunt?
Manhunt was fucking great.
That was good. They made a movie. Well, WWE made the movie based off of that, Condemned, with Steve Austin, where he was a prisoner and then he thought he died and they brought him back.
Them Criminal Origins now. Remember that shit?
Yeah, there was. That game was pretty good too.
Wait, Stone Cold Steve Austin did movies?
Yeah, he was in a few.
Yeah.
But in fact, his first one was that one Condemned, where he was a prisoner.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of his movies. Yeah.
Are they good?
It's debatable. What do you consider good? It's like, he's an action hero. It's one of those action movies.
Yeah.
He's gonna go and fight and pull like those 80s type combat. Where it's just me versus all of these bad guys around me.
Yeah. All right. Any other movies that would be good survival horror games?
Well, let me broaden the question just a little bit because I'm curious.
Scream.
What games that are not in the survival horror genre might you like to see pulled into the survival horror genre, or what dead survival horror franchise would you like to see resurrected?
Chris, I'm jumping on yours right now, man. I want to see Castlevania as a survival horror game. Can you imagine that shit?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. If you would you do it in like the medieval times where it started, or would you do a modern one?
No. I want a medieval. I want to go in.
Yeah. Now that would be good if you had. I mean, like Bloodborne. If you had it like you could play like that, but the fucking enemies and the environment is just insurmountable. Like it's just the most harrowing fucking things. Like creatures from a nightmare's nightmare.
Yes.
Why is Dark Souls not considered a survival horror? Because your main objective is like against all odds survival, and I have never heard as many "what the fuck is that" than I have.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I've never been more terrified. I mean, Resident Evil's scarier, obviously, but Dark Souls gets me really fucking scared too, man. But for a different reason, it's like I don't want to lose all my progress. Oh God. Yeah, no, I would kind of consider it survival horror because it is a pretty horrifying game, and you're trying to survive.
Yeah, it's like thinking, yeah, those jump scares from Resident Evil 7 are pretty scary, but the thought of losing 200,000 souls is even scarier than everything.
Man, that's a terror that doesn't go away. And also, just walking down the hallways, like, what? I know someone's gonna jump at me right now. I just don't know where it's gonna come from. And you're looking at both sides, and then something hits you from the top. It's like, motherfucker, Dark Souls did it again. Oh man, that's survival horror. I don't give a fuck if it officially isn't.
If that counts as survival horror, I'd love to see Metroid done in that style.
Oh my god, dude, survival. Ooh, hold on. Oh, I gotta calm down right now. If you give me a Metroid survival horror game, I'll buy 3 more Switches, man. Fuck that.
I think that would so many people would be so happy they would jump on a Switch. I think that they don't embrace that franchise enough. I think they really need to make up for Other M and the blue balls that was Federation Force.
Oh my god.
And give us that, what Brett just said, and give us that. And I don't care if you have to go to Capcom and round up the guys that just made RE7 and say, can you do that with Metroid or something? Whatever. Just do that.
That would be insane. Nintendo, man, you got to listen to us, man. We're giving you gold right now.
You want to print money? There you go.
Yeah. Yo, if they came out with that game, I could see Chris stealing a fucking truck full of Nintendo Switches and driving around the country, giving them to people. Like, you need this shit. You need to play this fucking game.
That'll be like the Johnny Appleseed of
Yeah, exactly.
I'll start planting them and grow more.
Oh man, all right, let's move on here. Nintendo question: do you think Nintendo will hit E3 hard or barely have an appearance and continue doing their pillow fort? I mean, treehouse events.
Oh shit!
Oh man, Nintendo needs to make another fucking conference, man. Like, don't bring Ravi drums out there. Don't bring out what's her face. Keep
Oh,
them
no,
out.
I don't think they'd ever do that again. Oh god.
Yo, I was watching
That's
the
his name.
Yeah, Ravi
Yeah,
drums.
That
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yo, I saw my man at the presidential shit. You know, I was like, is that Ravi drums? And then they said his name, Ravi drums. Like, oh shit, my man's getting open. So yeah, Nintendo. I don't know, because again, they're not gonna have a fucking conference, but so all we're gonna have is that fucking treehouse bullshit, you know. But they have to have show. I mean, last year it was just nothing but fucking Zelda. So I'm hoping this year they're gonna have more. They have to, you know.
It's gonna be a Mario blowout.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Odyssey can carry the entire show.
No, you need more.
Zelda.
Nintendo has enough now. They have enough. There's a lot of shit on Switch.
Splatoon, like will
Well, and they
Splatoon
also
be
have
out by
to
then?
choose what's coming out after Mario.
Splatoon comes out in the summer, so they could have it at E3. Yeah.
Well, what's the big thing they're bringing out? Because yeah, you could promote your indie stuff, or whatever, but that's not from them. The appeal of them is that the franchises they have. So
Yeah.
what are you bringing? Are you gonna apologize for Star Fox Zero? Are you gonna give people the Metroid they deserve? Are you,
Yes.
or is there something else? Like what is it? What else is coming?
They've got to say something. Like it's interesting the way that they stagger their releases. And I actually saw an interview in a video actually that was talking about why silence is important in video games with one of the guys who worked on Nintendo way back in the day. And they were talking about, the release of Zelda and the release of their other games and how their games seem to do better when they're staggered. And it kind of a light bulb went off. It's like, man, Nintendo has been doing this stuff for over 20 years. Like they realize and hold back titles so that they can, space them out. And with that in mind, if you look at when ARMS and Super Mario Odyssey and Mario Kart and, you can generally see at least something noteworthy about once a month. And then you see this kind of gap. And I want to say it was around September. Maybe I'm wrong, but so you have one of two options that's going to happen. They're going to rely heavily on their virtual console to kind of keep the hype up there, or they're going to announce something at E3 with a fairly immediate release date. The former is way more likely than the latter. However, it's my strong opinion that if Nintendo wants to keep the hype train they've built going, they need to announce some heavy games. I mean, we all know the stuff that's coming. They need to, this is contrary to what I usually say, and like, don't tell us a game that's coming out 2 years in advance, but you need to give people faith that there are more things in development than just, Breath of the Wild that came out and Super Mario Odyssey and a port of Mario Kart. Like, what you need to let them know that there is a long-term game plan and games in development exclusively for the Switch that are going to pull people in. I mean, Metroid would be honestly the perfect one, but I don't know if I put that much stock in Nintendo to actually listen to that much reason. But I mean, maybe they could surprise us. Maybe they're listening to what their fan base is saying in terms of like, how are we going to get money from these guys? Oh, maybe we should just fucking listen to what everybody's saying. So I don't think it's like a compassionate, like, we were wrong and we should come back to you. Maybe it's a, we ought to probably get some money coming in and stop dicking around. But again, I don't know how Breath of the Wild got developed with so much love and over such a significant period of time. Like, that seems like the exception to the rule, not just in gaming, but especially for Nintendo. So if they give that the same kind of love to their other franchises, you could see some worthwhile games coming out and some things to be excited about. So I know I'm not really answering the question other than it's going to be one extreme or the other. They're going to come out and drop a short release game and then announce that they're working on a Metroid to Pokemon, or they're just going to be like, check out our virtual console. I know, by the way, here's Super Mario Odyssey. So it'll either be an explosion or a fart in the wind, and it's probably going to be a fart in the wind. I don't know that they have their cards together enough right now to reveal any big projects, and if they did, I think we would have heard some kind of rumors about them. So guessing just virtual console stuff.
Yeah, like I heard a rumor that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 may be showed. I hope that's the case. But yeah, my hope is that we actually get an idea of what's coming in the fall, because right now we don't know what the fuck's coming besides Mario Odyssey, so that would be my hope. But definitely you got to get the virtual console out there, because think about it like this: we had all these fucking shortages with the Nintendo Mini. It's like, hey, you wanted to play those games, right? And they're on the Switch. So you can't really underestimate the virtual console thing. Look how happy Xbox guys were when they announced backwards compatibility, right? One of the biggest stories of E3. So you can't really downplay that. So you have a good virtual console showing and maybe 5 or 6 solid titles for the fall. I think it'll be a good E3 for Nintendo. Hell, it may actually justify people saying Nintendo won E3 this year if they actually pull shit like that off.
Well, I think the fall is going to be all third-party support. Most of the titles that they announced that are coming are going to be coming during that time, like especially the EA
even
titles.
If it's third party, as long as they're like exclusive to Switch, that's fine.
I think there'll be a modified version. I don't know.
They need to announce they're working on a Pokemon.
Oh yeah, if they do that, forget about it. Even
if they just show some concept art and make some fucking promises, that needs to be something that's said.
I already said, man, if they release a Pokemon game and have enough systems, that's it. The Switch is going to be a success, at least more of a success than a fucking Wii U, which was a disaster, But yeah, hopefully Nintendo actually show something. I was just thinking about we'll talk about this later, but Microsoft needs to do the same shit too. What do you guys have for the fall, man? But we got a question about that. We'll answer that later. All right. Anybody else want to jump on this shit? Nintendo E3. Going once, going twice, sold. All right. The last question from Mr. Black Metal Gamer. Name some games from the 3rd generation and up that still hold up as timeless. So basically, what are some games that are just timeless? I don't care what generation they are.
No, I think I think the reason he's saying 3rd generation and up is pixel sprites are always charming. When you get into 3-dimensional polygons, what games are going to hold up? Or there are some games like Final Fantasy Tactics that still kind of kept a spritey kind of flavor to them, even though they were on a PlayStation. So not all games on the PlayStation used polygons, but I kind of understand why he's making the distinction to 3rd generation, because games looked fucking butt ugly.
Yeah, just some off the top of my head. Super Mario World, that's classic, that's timeless. Mega Man 2.
Pixels.
Yeah, pixel games hold up, man. Those are 2 so far. I'll come back. I mean, I could name other games too if you want me to. Fucking
No, I will say in response to this question, none of them. They all look like sunburnt asshole.
Damn.
I don't know. Nah, Brett, really? Even games on Super Nintendo, like those look fucking good. Huh?
Super Nintendo was in 3rd generation.
Is it? No, he said 3rd generation and up.
Yeah, so like 3rd generation later. So like PlayStation and later.
No, isn't 3rd generation Nintendo?
Yeah, because it's like Atari. Like, when the hell did Atari?
The 1st generation would be like Atari or whatever the fuck came before Atari.
We're okay.
What are you thinking about? You thinking about like 6th gen or something?
No, I'm thinking they started with NES. I thought there was a distinction between consoles before the.
No.
The 2600 would be 1, right?
Yeah.
NES would be 2. And Super NES and Genesis would be 3.
All right, I'll break it down just so in case nobody knows. Basically, and I'm reading this from Wikipedia in the history, blah, blah, blah. The 3rd generation is the 8-bit era. So, Nintendo Entertainment System, the SG-1000, Sega, 1000. The Master System came out that same generation. Atari 7800 came out. Yeah, and there you go. So yeah, Super, Nintendo basically and upwards. So those count.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, absolutely.
Super fucking Metroid, timeless classic.
Everything
know?
on Super Nintendo looked great.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god, they still hold up. Here's the funny thing, right? PlayStation 1 games look like fucking shit now, but those SNES games still look great. Isn't that something?
It's the whole 3D thing, man. What Brett
Yeah.
was talking about, those polygons.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you could play Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario World, and it looks almost as good as like the new Super Mario Bros. That was released for the Wii U.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those games are timeless.
Now look
Yeah.
at Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong
Donkey
Country,
Country,
fucking
oh my
classic,
God.
you know. Sonic games, you know, the 2D ones. They're all
Yeah, the
fucking
2D,
classic.
not the 3D ones. The 3D ones are
Oh,
horrible.
God. Oh.
The Star
did
Wars
not age
pod
well.
racing game.
Oh, my buddy my boss just got that free with a copy of one of the movies, and he was playing. I was like, my God, like Anakin looks like just a box with an Anakin face drawn on it.
Man.
Well, are 360 and PS3 games cheating though? You think?
How's that?
I mean, you can just
Oh,
mention
since it was
them,
this last gen.
yeah, those were last gen.
Yeah, man, if
You
you
can-
want, you know, I'm not.
You can mention like BioShock, Mass Effect 2.
Yes, man.
You can mention Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3,
Metal Gear Solid 3 for me, obviously.
God of War 3, and yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4. It's just a ton of games that still hold up.
you know, the only reason I'm
Gears of War.
for them is because they haven't been around for like at least 20 years, you know. But yeah, I don't see why not. Why you can't count them. You know, shit like Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat, they still hold up.
What? Nah, Street Fighter 2 doesn't hold up.
Yeah, it does to me,
It's
man.
too slow, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're used to the faster one, sure, you know. Actually, I guess
Wait,
you're right.
wait, wait.
Maybe Street Fighter, maybe not Street Fighter 2, maybe
2
Super
doesn't
Street
hold
Fighter
up.
2. Think about it. They pretty much remade Super Street Fighter 2 twice already. you know?
Right.
Okay, so let's go with that. Super Street Fighter 2. Turbo.
Turbo HD remix.
Yes. All right. Any other timeless games you guys want to toss in there?
Gears of War.
Gears of War. Ooh, that's
First
another
one. That was it.
Yeah,
It was a
that was
game changer. That game. That game.
I'll throw Symphony of the Night in there.
Oh yeah, there you go.
This is a PS1 game.
Yeah, again, but it was like sprite
But the
based.
superior version was on the Saturn.
Yes, man.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. Gunstar Heroes.
Ooh, that's a good
Always one
one.
of my favorites. Still one of my favorite.
Hell yeah.
I beat that game like at least 100 times, and I still enjoy every playthrough.
Yes.
I was gonna say another one, but it's cheating too. Like I was gonna say, World of Warcraft still holds up,
Oh my gosh.
but that's because they got a facelift.
Yeah, exactly. All right, moving on here. Daniel J. He goes, nerd question. So nerdy show, bro. I don't know why you have to preface it with that. He goes, which universe would you like to live in? Pick one. You can only pick one. The Star Trek universe, the Star Wars universe, or the Mass Effect universe.
Star Trek.
Wars.
I'm gonna go with
Let's
Star
go
Trek
one at a
because
time.
yeah,
I'm going Star Trek.
I'm gonna go with Star Trek. But here's the thing, it's like because I'm thinking like, okay, Star Trek universe has the Borg, and then the Mass Effect universe has the fucking the Reapers, but the Reapers destroy everything at the
You
end.
keep forgetting people are not starving in Star Trek. You know, they work the
Yeah.
barter system. There's no big global war going on, and you don't have people living in huts and in the woods and all that shit. So we've
Yeah,
evolved.
definitely not the Star Wars universe. I do not want to live in that shit. Either Mass Effect or Star Trek, but I'm gonna go with Star Trek. They're a little bit more civilized there. You know, even though the Federation gets into some shit every few years.
Oh, you just got to worry about the board coming to town. You see a cube, you
Or the fucking
leave.
Dominion and shit. You know,
The Dominion Wars. That was a great
Remember
series.
that shit,
God,
man.
Right, I do.
Yes, 9 for life, man. Fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Star Trek. You can just chill on some planets and never have the effects of
Yeah.
anything other than any
What's
of
the name of
bad
that
stuff.
pleasure planet? Chris, what's the name of that one? You know what I'm talking
You go
about.
to Ryza, man.
Ryza. I said, just
The Rise of 3 or something like that.
Ryza and get my dick sucked by alien chicks. I'm good.
That was a resort. Go climb some mountains. Go, live the good life.
Yeah,
Heck, you can live in freaking San Diego or what was it, San Francisco?
San Francisco. Or you could even live inside a hologram if you want. The holodeck, just live in there.
Get a holodeck in your house. Make your whole house a holodeck.
That's it, man. You give me a replicator and a fucking holodeck, I never have to leave the crib. The Borg could be coming. Fuck that. I'm going in the holodeck.
Like, we're 7 to 9. I need some help.
Ooh, man.
Mhm. Yo, her life story is crazier than the fucking show.
Oh, Jerry Ryan.
Yo, look her up. Her story with her husband and threesomes and all this craziness. It was, yeah,
Yeah.
she's lived a
Sounds
crazy
so
life.
good. All right, Brett, I'm guessing you have a different answer because you don't like Star Trek.
No, I said Star Wars.
Yeah. Now, why is that? Because Star Wars is easily the most hostile of these
Exactly.
universes.
Because you get a chance of being a Jedi or a Sith.
You have to be special, though. What if you were not special and you don't have that ability? Then what? Then
What if you're a
in
Tusken
huts.
Raider?
Exactly. You're like living on a desolate
chance.
planet scavenging.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, it's generally speaking, if you're not on, like, if you're already in Empire space, like, you don't have to fucking worry about shit. Like, you don't have to worry about the rebels coming in and bombing your fucking planet. You don't have to worry. Like, generally, Imperial life is not bad from at least a lot of the games that I played and whatnot. It doesn't seem bad. Like, and the thing you're all assuming, like, is okay. So if you're in Star Trek, who's to say that you're in Federation space? Who's to say you're not in one of these barbaric outworlds that everybody is living in a
Because
mud
I'm
hut?
human.
Yeah.
Humans don't live out there.
Well, how do you know you're going to be human? You could be a fucking.
You just said if I could go anywhere,
Okay,
if
I
I was
guess, yeah.
Doctor Who,
Yeah, if you
and
had the
I can
choice,
go anywhere.
because Brett, would you, if you popped into Star Wars and you were a Gungan, would you not just kill yourself?
Oh shit.
Okay, so let's, for the sake of argument, let's just say we're still humans. Yeah. If you're in Star Trek and you're a human, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to Federation. I'm a citizen of the Federation. I have rights, so I'm going back
That's it.
there.
Go. There
Unless the
you go.
fucking Herodian shows up. And
If I showed up and I was a Ferengi and I looked in the mirror, I would freak out.
Hey man, I mean, in Star Trek, you can be a human. You can get stranded on some random ass planet, some random ass galaxy, and you might fucking see Spock there, and he'll help you get out of that planet, man. That's a Star Trek reboot reference.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I think
with
I get
the
past
whole thing with like
Yeah.
Star Wars, isn't it like under 1% that turn into those Jedi? What are they called? Yeah, the
Jedi,
Jedi's. It's like
It
under
depends on what
1%.
area you're talking about.
What, like
Different parts of
Jersey,
the
or what are you
galaxy.
talking about? What area? Like
I'm
what?
guessing different parts of the
Era,
galaxy. Yeah.
era, what time? Like, if you're
Oh,
talking
era.
Old Republic, Old Republic was fucking riddled with Jedi and Sith. I mean, it was fucking lousy with them.
Well, Samuel L. Jackson is one, so.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Next question here. If Scorpio can get developers back to Microsoft, how do you think Sony will respond? I'm guessing he's talking about third-party deals and shit like that.
They haven't left it. They need first-party support. That's what Microsoft needs. Microsoft needs some first. Forget the third party. All the third party is there, which is why it's still selling. They need that first-party
Well,
shit.
he's talking about like deal because remember, fucking Destiny 2,
That
the
doesn't
new
matter.
Call of Duty, fucking Red Dead Redemption, all
That's not
Sony
gonna-
deals, man.
That's not going to change your Sony your Microsoft fanboys. They don't care. The game is still coming.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't care. It's exclusives is what they need. If they want to turn the tide, you need to have something special. It's like that with anything. Freaking restaurants. You have two burger joints, but one could have a double stack. You need something different.
Oh shit.
Can I mention something about the last topic real quick?
Okay.
I forgot to mention. So,
Oh.
if something to think about Star Wars, if you want to go to like be in the Star Wars universe, just remember you can't be a Jedi because you're too old to become a Jedi.
Oh shit.
Unless you have enough metachlorians.
Oh god.
No, I don't even care about that. Just the idea of you're living in a universe with a tangible force that connects everything. I mean, that should be fascinating. You're talking about a world essentially where magic is real. It's at the end of the day, it's a space fantasy. It's not a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're talking about a place where there's sword fighting, there's fucking magic, and especially I'm well versed in a lot of the Old Republic stuff. Like, that's all my favorite stuff. So there are tons of Force users out there who aren't Jedi, who aren't Sith, who are more neutral, who are more in tune with nature or the Force or the balance or anywhere in between. And honestly, I think that's the fan theory. I think that's where the movies are going. Is we're gonna see Rey be the first gray Jedi. So I think that a lot of these ideas are still very relevant in the Star Wars universe. So, I mean, just the idea of like, do you want to live in a normal world? Do you want to live in a world where magic exists? Well, like I'd like to live in a world where magic exists.
I
And
don't
then
need magic.
Yeah, I want
fucking
to
with my
live in a
head.
normal world. Fuck
Yeah,
that magic
no, man.
shit, man.
No, I don't need to get
Fuck that
possessed
shit.
remotely from
Yeah.
some hut. Nope.
Let me live in Federation space and be happy.
But see, that's the thing, though. Like y'all are talking
Turn
about
into
just
a
settling
frog.
down. Like I'm talking about like wouldn't you but one adventure? Like I would almost choose Firefly universe over all of them.
Oh,
That's
hell
what
no.
I'm
That's
doing.
the worst one right
Nope.
there.
Want to live a normal life, man.
Yeah, I want to live
There's-
chilling.
Yeah, because like if you think about it, there's people that are going to be living with force privilege and other people with
Yeah.
non-force privilege.
Mhm.
So it's like,
No
meh.
thanks.
Yeah. Anyway, Microsoft, man. What do you guys say? Because I don't know. Because
In order to leverage the Scorpio,
Yeah.
you need to show what it can do that the PlayStation can. That's only going to come
Yeah.
from first-party games.
Exactly. First party. That's what they need.
Wait, but the question was, I don't own a Xbox One or a Switch. Should I wait to buy a Scorpio?
no. That's later. You jumped ahead,
Oh.
man.
I
You jumped
deleted that
way
one.
ahead, Carlos. Your question before that, bro.
Spoiler.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, if Scorpio can get developers back to Microsoft, how do you think Sony will respond? Sony doesn't need to do shit, man. Like Sony's
I
so
don't-
far ahead, it doesn't matter.
But that question doesn't even work because I mean, third party haven't left them. Yeah, it's all about money when it comes to those exclusive content.
Exclusivity
The
deals.
content-
That's what I'm
That's
talking
not that was there before on both sides. Microsoft did it a bunch of times. That doesn't really change anything. It's the games. The games change. It didn't hurt sales with GTA on both consoles because of the exclusive stuff that 4 had on Xbox. It doesn't matter as long as the game is still coming. DLC is DLC.
Yeah.
Some people don't give two shits about DLC. Even if it's
Well,
free,
yeah.
some people
Well,
don't.
I think he's thinking more stuff like Titanfall. How that was exclusive, shit like that.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
Well, that was a game exclusive.
the biggest problem that Microsoft has right now is that their first-party studios aren't producing new IPs, exclusive IPs. They're the Gears, Halo, Forza factory. So it's like,
And they don't even own the Forza.
But
part.
again,
The
you have
Forza's
to-
not even theirs.
Here's the thing: you can't blame Microsoft for that. You have to blame the fans for that because those are the only franchises they buy. It always goes back to the fans, man. It's not really Microsoft. I'll give them respect. They try to bring out new IPs, but the fans don't keep buying them. Look at Sunset Overdrive, man. That shit fucking bombed.
Yeah,
and the
that's
game is
true.
fantastic.
I don't know.
Yo,
It didn't
Daniel-
bring joy to my life.
Daniel said, better controller is greater than time DLC. Yeah, they need a like. Well, first off, I don't think developers are gonna return to Xbox like you think they'll return to Xbox. They're like, it's up to Microsoft to like produce for the Scorpio.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna have the normal third parties, but like, are they gonna have exclusive games that like exclusive third party games? Like, are they gonna get freaking Atlas to get a Persona game on the Xbox?
They need to go back to what they did for the first Xbox when they just started making their own shit of everything. Remember when they made their own sport games? You know what I mean? It's like, just start making your own version of everything. It become like the Pathmark brand. Just make your own
Oh,
shit.
shit.
Of everything. Their version of Mass Effect. You know what? We're joking, calling it the best Star Trek. Call it Star Trek. Work a deal out with Paramount and make your own damn one, and that's it. Star Trek, Paramount, and be like, wow, this is like Mass Effect, but with Star Trek characters. There you go.
They don't have a good track record with Japanese developers at the moment.
Oh, well,
They've tried and nobody bought those games.
But
Yeah.
think about it like this, like, so what, like some of the biggest games that came out this year, Nier, it's a third party exclusive game on the PS4 and PC, like console exclusive. Neo, same thing. Yakuza, same thing. Fucking Persona, same thing.
Yep.
Fucking Street Fighter 5.
Mhm.
Like, are you fucking kidding me, man?
Well,
Like,
the Street
these are
Fighter
all-
5 was special. There was a special thing with that. With
Yeah,
the
well,
funding.
Yeah, but that's
I'm
a
being-
thing. But
yeah,
they
they're
fucked
being
up on
cheap.
that.
Yeah.
And they fucked up with Platinum with fucking Scalebound. So
But the game itself fucked up, so it didn't sell. So it didn't hurt them.
no, Scalebound didn't come out.
No, not skill, but
Yeah,
I'm talking about Street
Scalebound.
Fighter. Street Fighter. Street
Well,
Fighter.
they
5.
fucked up Street Fighter.
That's what I'm saying. So it didn't backfire on them with that. It's just Capcom trying to be slick, getting these people to these two to publish games and pay for it. That's why Dead Rising 3 came out exclusive for the Xbox. They paid for it.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't think Microsoft
Sony.
tried to ingratiate or buy an exclusive from Japan. I think they should try to do like Adam said, and try to simultaneously show off the power of the Scorpio while trying to recreate something that has worked, right? Because 360 they bought all sorts of Japanese exclusives. They had
Dragon.
Blue Dragon and Infinite Discovery or whatever.
Infinite
Colonel
Discovery.
Sonata.
Yeah.
Lost Odyssey.
They're all, and nobody bought them, right? You know, so that stuff doesn't work for. I don't.
Xbox guys don't like those games, bro. They just like racing and shooting. That's all they
Pro
like.
gamers, man. Pro gamers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it just doesn't. It doesn't mean that they have to limit themselves. Like I'm not saying that they have to get exclusives like from those games. Like you could have gotten Nier, and you could have gotten Neo, and you could have gotten Yakuza. But the Xbox guys buy those.
Yeah,
these are the same guys
running around saying,
well, those games are stupid crap in these games. You know?
Yeah,
I mean, Carlos, like, imagine Phil Spencer going over to the guys who made Persona, right, and just saying like, "Yes, we would like we would like you to port Persona 5," and they'll be like, "Okay, let's see how our previous games or any similar titles sell on the Xbox," and then they would just say no immediately, because even if he asked for it, they wouldn't do it because they don't see the return of interest. It's the same cycle. Whereas like EA is not going to put Battlefield on the Switch yet. If the Switch was it had a big market share, which is all EA cares about, then they would do it. But if they don't get the ROI and they don't see a reason to bother developing for it, then they won't. That's what Atlas would do to Scorpio, because Japanese games don't traditionally sell well on Xbox.
But I think that's different though. Like Battlefield is not on the Switch because of the limitations of the hardware.
Okay, well, I mean, besides that, like, it's not just limitation of hardware. It's actually it's market share, because look, the Wii got Modern Warfare and all that stuff. Yeah, it was watered down, but it got it, right. Why did it get it? Because it had market share, and they were hoping it would sell. You have 50, 60, 70 million units worldwide in the market and engaged. So you're like, okay, well, we'll just port it over there. It'll sell, right? And it didn't sell well because that's not what people bought the Wii for. They didn't buy it to play Modern Warfare. So with Atlas, they're going to be like, how have RPGs done previously? So you look at the 360. They did horrible. Japanese RPGs did horrible on the 360. Blue Dragon did horrible.
Yeah.
Infinite Undiscovered did horrible. They got a couple others too, and they did not do well.
I have Ghost Recon on my 3DS, and that did horrible.
I don't know if they did horrible. They didn't sell like gangbusters, but I don't think they did horrible. I need to check up the numbers though. But as far as like they could easily port those games. Like you're talking about market share. Yeah, like the market share is completely different, and they're not going to sell closely as well as they are doing with the PS4. But they could still see the benefit of porting into another x86 architecture.
Well, yeah, because it's not a soft dollars on the time porting it over. They have to see return on interest, right? Like they want to maximize the profit they make from the game. And if you say, well, okay, Scorpio, let's say it does well and has this big share, but in generally, how do these games sell on Xbox? And traditionally, they don't sell as well as a Halo or Gears of War or Call of Duty or a Division, right? So they're not going to do it. All those are trade-offs that you think about, right? Like, yeah, if there's a huge ROI, then they will spend the soft dollars porting it, even if it's to a completely different platform, like the Switch, going from x86 to whatever the Tegra architecture, RISC-based architecture. They will spend it if they think the share will get them sales. They will do it. But what they won't do is, if it traditionally sells bad, they won't do it. Yeah. Even if the transition is short, the soft dollars are low amount. If you're not going to get a good return on interest, they're not going to bother.
All right. Where the fuck are we? Okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay. Brian, PS4 Master Race. He goes, should I get a Scorpio when I don't have an Xbox or a Nintendo Switch?
If it makes you happy.
He already has the PS4.
Yeah, he has the PS4. I'm guessing. I'm taking a wild guess there.
No. It all depends on what he wants. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if it's going to be the same games on it and it's just going to look a little prettier, why?
But he doesn't have an Xbox One though, so
I know, but that means that then there has to be some exclusives from the Xbox world that he would
maybe he
want.
wants to play some Gears of War,
Then
man.
get it. But then I don't think that's the case, because if that was the case, he would have had a 360 or an Xbox One.
Well, here's one of the factors. Like he's saying, should I wait for a Scorpio? So you're saying you can only have one.
Yeah.
So the Scorpio is going to be cost over $500. So you can get a Switch and an Xbox and an OG Xbox One at the same price, pretty much.
That is true. Maybe the question should be, should I buy a Scorpio or a Switch? Maybe that's the heart of the question.
Which one will be easier to get? There you go.
Hey, listen, those fucking Scorpios don't be around. Don't be on stores.
Because they're gonna ship like 20, 30 million of those things. It's just what big consoles do. That's just we already talked about how Nintendo does it. They sprinkle that shit on like crack juice.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? It's like feeding goldfish, and we're the goldfish.
Think about when PS4 first came out, right? That shit was selling like 1 million in a day. People, you can still find this shit.
You could still find them. Stores, even when they said, "Oh yeah, we'll have them in stock," it was like next week.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, they were just cranking those bad boys out. With this shit, it's fucking months.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question because he's a PS4 guy, obviously. So maybe he's more like he has more of a proclivity to Japanese games. So if that's the case, maybe a Switch would be better for him. Go ahead, Brett.
Maybe.
I'm looking at an article from February of 2014 that's saying that PlayStation has officially announced that stock shortages could last as far as April.
Really?
So there definitely was shortages for it. And I was I remember there not being PlayStations for a couple of months.
Nope.
Okay, so
well, maybe in small markets.
No. Brett isn't off, man. I kind of remember that. Here's the thing: there were shortages, but they would get them back in stock relatively fast. But there were shortages. It wasn't like shortage. It wasn't really bad. Yeah, I mean, Switch bad. You know what I'm saying?
The Vita had a shortage. That I remember because I did the midnight launch, and I had buddies that were like, "No, we couldn't get it."
PS4 had them. It wasn't extreme, but they definitely had them. But yeah. Anyway, again, let's answer this question: should he get a Scorpio or get a Switch?
It just depends on the first party games that you would like to play, but like more.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to play Mario and Zelda and Pikmin and what else? Star Fox, if that ever comes out, or Metroid, if that ever comes out.
Arms.
Arms.
Surprisingly fun.
Yeah, Arms, Splatoon, Smash Bros. You know, Smash Bros is going to come out. Mario Kart.
Wow. I'm actually really looking forward to. We never said Smash Brothers happens. That's the one inevitable game I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, so those are the games that for sure are going to come out on the Switch. As opposed to Halo, Forza, Gears, Halo remastered of some sorts. Yeah, it just depends on which games you want to play.
It does. It definitely comes down to exclusives in this case.
Yeah, it's hard to answer without knowing what kind of games he likes.
Because like he's not going to play like I'm pretty sure he's not going to play third-party games on Scorpio if he's already has a PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and
who knows?
Does he even have a 4K TV?
Yeah, that's true.
Because you got to factor that in there. I don't know. It's hard to answer without knowing what kind of games he likes. He likes PlayStation games, but other than that, who knows?
If you're asking me personally, but I already have an Xbox One.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if he was interested in Xbox One titles, he would have.
Yeah.
Picked one up already. So
that's true.
There would be possibly a reason to try.
And I'm going to take a leap here with that name. I'm going to guess you probably don't like Xbox. So maybe get the Switch.
Go get the Switch, man. If you can find it, go get it.
It's like it's a little bit. If you have the extra money, right now, you get the Switch. I don't know. Without waiting to E3, I have no idea what Microsoft's going to introduce with the Scorpio to make it the must-have thing. That's what I don't know.
TV.
Yo, man, they'll make you sandwiches.
They make a TV.
Make a TV.
Oh, yeah, it's like it plays Netflix, superior to any of this.
Yes. All right, man, let's move on here. Mr. Dip Dop Doopity. Okay, with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe releasing on the 28th, it will inevitably sell Switches, but do you think it will help Nintendo win April NPD? Very good question. I told him this on Twitter too. Yes, if Nintendo makes enough Switches, you know. But yeah, I mean, actually, no.
I say
back.
no.
No, let's go
Well,
back. 'Cause
it comes
what's
out
coming?
at the
What's
end
coming out in April? What came out in April? Persona, right?
Yeah, but Mario
Back it
Kart
up.
only comes out next week. It's like
Actually, wait,
yeah.
yeah.
No,
That
yeah.
gives it 2 days.
You know what?
Yeah,
So
2 days.
May NPDs then. May NPDs.
No, but
Unless
like
every single copy sells out instantly. I mean, I'm not saying that's impossible, but even then, could NPD get all that data by the time they put the report together?
Remember what happened with Horizon, right? The game came out February 20th, which is the last day of February. So
Yeah.
they said, okay, fuck it, it's a March. It's a March thing
they'll
now.
push it into May. It'll push it
Yeah.
into May. No,
So
'cause
no,
two
it won't help
Aprils.
them when April NPDs because it's too fucking late in April. So,
So-
no, yeah, no.
Well, let's change the question then. Will
Yeah.
it help them win May if they push it?
Okay, yeah, there you go. We'll help them
That's
win
a good
May.
question, yeah.
What else is coming out in May besides Mario?
Wait,
I think
Mario?
I think Mario Kart's gonna have damn near the same attach rate that Zelda did.
100%, really?
Not
Excuse
Not
me,
that crazy 105%.
110%.
100.
you'll see upwards of an 80% attach rate. I think.
Yeah.
I think
it'll be high. I can agree that it'll be really high.
What else is coming out in May? I have no idea.
There's something big coming out in May. By the way, I went against my better judgment and pre-ordered the fucking game. There's nothing else on Switch. May as well just get the game, you know.
What game?
Mario Kart. But I don't even know how they. I mean, I don't care about online anyway. But who knows? But yeah. What else is coming out in May? I know there's something coming out in May. I just don't know what the fuck it is.
Can I answer a variation of the question a different way?
You know, maybe answer the way you want, man.
All right. So if Mario Kart Deluxe came out, Mario Kart 8 came out mid-April, I would still say the answer is no, because I think the momentum of the new release of the console would still propel it. It wouldn't need Mario Kart 8 to like help win NPDs that month. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
All right. Well, here's the list of what's coming out in May. Prey comes out.
What's coming out? Prey.
Prey
Ooh,
comes out
Prey.
May 5th.
By the way, again, I played this shit. Prey is fucking nice, man. That's gonna be a good game. I predict that's probably gonna be one of the bigger sleeper hits. Nobody's gonna see this shit coming. They play. It's like, yo, this is hot. Prey is good.
Injustice 2 comes out May 16th. Disgaea 5 for the Switch comes out.
This guy over here. I thought this guy already came out 2 years ago, bro.
Well, the Switch version. Friday the 13th comes out May 26th.
Fuck.
And that same day, Rhyme comes out. And that's pretty much it for May as far as I can see here. Those are
So
the
it's
big
got some
titles.
competition in there, especially with Prey, you know.
I don't know if there's enough Switches in the wild to. I mean,
yeah.
I guess Zelda Breath of the Wild, like it did well, but it didn't win, did it?
It was number 2 game of the month.
Behind fucking Ghost Recon.
Ghost Recon. I didn't even take that shit into consideration.
I did not either. I did not see that coming.
I'm telling you, it's got to be a niche market because I'm not seeing anybody, and I have a lot of friends that are into Ghost Recon.
Dude, the first week when that came out, everybody was talking about that fucking game. But just like Evolve afterwards, nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, I saw videos popping up everywhere. Let's Play. Nobody.
All the reviews are horrible on it. That was the other thing.
Boring.
Nobody gives a shit.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's like that's the thing. When back to what we were talking about with the Metacritic, then you know, what I mean, like who really gives a shit? Because obviously people don't.
Like
fanboys care about that shit.
Like 2 months from now, you can take me on a time machine back to January, and you could tell me. What would win NPDs? Zelda, Breath of the Wild. It's going to be a critical hit on the release with a fucking Switch, or fucking Ghost Recon. It's going to have shitty reviews. I would still fucking say Zelda, even though I knew what the fuck like results were, man.
Yeah,
that's how fucking improbable this makes it sound.
Damn,
it's ridiculous, man.
So yeah,
it's not going to win April. It's not going to win April NPDs.
Yeah, my point with that is with over 100% attach rate. Taking into account the number of Switches in the wild, if Mario Kart doesn't reach a similar attach rate, which is going to be kind of damn near impossible. I don't think there's enough Switches for it to dominate.
Yeah, I agree. Nintendo hasn't manufactured enough of those. By the way, I still find it ironic that the two most highly praised Switch games are fucking Wii U ports. It's hilarious.
What does it say? That their Nintendo's model is not a race; it's a marathon.
Oh, is it? I
PlayStation,
thought,
4, PlayStation 4 started the same way. Everything was on both 3 and 4.
yeah,
The highest rated game was Black Flag, and you could play that on either system. So
that's true. I want to see those Switch exclusive games, but I will be getting those pretty soon. ARMS is one,
1-2 Switch.
Yeah, 1-2 Switch, and snipper clips, right?
now I'm just pissed that we where's the fucking WarioWare?
Yeah.
Yeah, no WarioWare for you. All right, man. And the very last question, and again, I want to thank all you guys in the chat for beefing us up here with the questions. We only got 3 from the coalition cats, but you guys, you made this a full show, so thank you. All right, Barry Burden, he's actually asking us a question this week, man. All right, he goes, what are the top, this is a good question too, what are the top 3 games that we will not see on the SNES Classic Mini, but should absolutely be included?
Oh, can I go?
Yes.
Final Fantasy VI, Earthbound, and Link to the Past.
Games that are, should be on there, but Nintendo is not going to fucking put them on there. I agree with that. I like that.
Oh, I know what.
Excuse me. Let's get it right, because somebody's going to complain. Final Fantasy 3.
Excuse me. Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Motherfuckers, even though Brett was technically right, it is 6 Final Fantasy. Yeah, Final Fantasy, that should be on there. That's not going to be on there.
Can I mention one for Chris?
Yeah, for Chris.
Yo, I know for
Chris, they ain't putting no Castlevania on that shit.
Yeah, they're not putting Super Metroid on this shit.
Oh,
I guarantee you they wouldn't put Super Metroid on this
But
shit.
see, that's such a huge miss. Like you own it. That's yours. You own it. You got to put that on there.
They're
That's
like
that's
honestly,
first party gold.
The only thing that I could guarantee you will be on it is Super Mario All Stars.
Yeah, even Super Mario World may not be on it.
That seems like a huge miss if they.
Yeah, I agree. Missions. But this is Nintendo. We're talking
Super Mario World. If you omit those major titles, if you omit Donkey Kong Country,
oh my,
Super Mario World, if you omit Super Metroid, then what are you going to put on there? What's the equivalent of Balloon Fight on the Super Nintendo? Put that sauce shit on there, then I don't see the.
They better have the fucking Alien Wars, man. Contra 3.
Yeah, but if you're not getting one Konami game, then you're not getting the others. Right?
Fuck.
I think they'll prop the whole thing up with Super Mario World.
Yeah, maybe. I
don't.
But
think we won't see the Zelda. Yeah. We won't see the Metroid.
They probably won't
see fucking Earthbound.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger probably won't be on there, even though
it won't be there.
Chrono Trigger.
It should be a better question. Is this going to be a constant? Are we going to see an N64 mini? Are we gonna see another GameCube?
I want to see a GameCube mini. Would it be like a big?
It'll look like a Rubik's Cube.
Order?
Oh shit!
Yeah, like a Rubik's Cube, like right there in your desk. The controller supports Bluetooth, and so I sell like hotcakes.
The discs would be so small.
Oh, they won't have Banjo-Kazooie on it.
No, because Microsoft
has it. Yeah. Ooh, someone put a good one. Super Mario RPG.
That won't be on there. That's a great game. That won't be on there.
That one they might actually put on.
The platform live says Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. I'd be fucked up if that's not on there.
No, I said I said that too. I don't think they'll have Link to the Past on there.
Well, considering this classic didn't have a Zelda on it, so I don't see why the.
Wait, I thought the NES Classic did have Zelda on it.
Did it have a Zelda?
Yeah. Because I did, because I wrote a story about that one Uber guy who hooked one up to the back of his car, and the guy was playing Zelda on that shit.
Oh, I thought it was the modded ones that had that.
Yeah. What else did he say here?
Oh, Banjo-Kazooie was an N64 game.
Yeah. What about Mega Man X? Are they gonna leave? I could see them leaving out.
They might put a Mega Man game.
Well, I mean, Super Nintendo one, so Mega Man X games.
Mega Man 2.
Well, that was an NES game.
That's NES.
I know, but they still need to bring it back.
I still play that shit regularly, man.
Yeah, I
see
mean, I
pretty
remember I was playing the other day on the PS4. They have it.
Yeah, man. That game is
Oh,
still hype.
you will not see Super Street Fighter 2.
No, you won't.
Mm-mm.
No, you know that's not going to be on there.
All right,
Mortal
so
Kombat probably won't be on there either.
No.
looking at the list of games on the NES Classic, since they got the 2 Castlevanias on there, then I think you'll get Super Castlevania 4.
Okay, that'd
Kung
be good.
Fu on there and Commando. Did they put those on NES Classic?
No, I don't see Kung
No,
Fu
I
or
don't think Commando's on
Commando.
that shit.
So who owns Kung Fu? What's the story? Why did we have yet to see a successor to that famous Kung Fu game? I don't get it. Like
Hey, which one?
Kung Fu, remember?
Oh,
Original
just Kung Fu.
Just
Kung
Kung
Fu.
Fu.
Yeah.
That was a badass game, and it just fizzled out. They never made another one.
Oh, by the way, we're probably not going to get any of the Disney licensed games on there. A lot of them were really good.
Fuck.
Actually, yeah, like I'm surprised by the roster of the NES Classic. You did get a Zelda, you got a Mega Man, you got a Final Fantasy, you got a Metroid, you got 2 Mario Brothers, Kirby, Castlevania, Ninja Gaiden, Super Mario Brothers 2, Dr. Mario Punch Out. I
They
mean,
got
Balloon
3
Fight's the
Mario
only
Brothers
really
games.
bullshit thing in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they obviously made a deal with Konami because Gradius was also on there.
Yeah.
So
Fucking
I think
Grudge.
you could get those similar games. There's a Super Nintendo Gradius. Was it 4? Was it 3 or 4? Which
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Gradius 4. I always call it Gradius.
Yeah, Gradius
Yeah.
4. So you could get Super Ghouls and Ghosts. You could get
I was
That's
to
a
say
final-
Ghosts and Goblins is on there.
yeah.
Yo,
Super-
Tony, that's a Final Fantasy character.
What?
Gradius.
Oh, Gradius. Yes.
Yeah, I think
Gradius was the shit.
Yeah.
they put Super C on there. I'm not sure why they didn't put the first Contra, but so that was the second one. So you could get Contra 3 on the Super Nintendo Classic. I don't remember what the Super Nintendo Kirby games were. They probably throw one on there.
Yeah.
Oh, I love one of them. It was the Kirby Crash Course or Kirby Course or something like that. That was a good
They'll
game.
probably throw Super Mario Kart on there. That was the first one.
Yeah, that's true.
The Super Mario Kart. I'm trying to think what else.
Final Fight.
Final Fight probably won't be on there.
No, but it's a fun one, especially
Yeah, I
for
love
co-op.
that fucking game, man. We used to play that shit all the time, That's the one without fucking guy in it.
Yeah, that's the broken one. The fixed one's on GBA.
Or say a CD. They got the full
CD.
shit, All right, I think we pretty much answered this one. Yeah, Nintendo's gonna fuck up somehow. You'll see. All right. By the way, again with this fucking contest shit, my man Zalazar. I'm gonna give this fucking code to somebody else, man. Thursday, if you don't hit me up by Thursday, I'm giving this fucking code to somebody else, man, because this is ridiculous now. All right. So yeah, let's wrap this up. Thank you for watching and listening. Leave us your questions in the comment section of this episode here on YouTube or on the Coalition. We'll answer them on next week's show. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco and tonight joined by Chris Seeley,
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero,
Go watch anime.
Brett Murdoch,
It's been real, people.
and Adam Vale.
Later. Don't drink and drive.
All right, people. Peace.
Peace.